All right. So I want to deal with some comments made by Angela Hill in the post-fight presser, as well as respond to some comments that were made by a few fans of WMMA. The discussion has been brought up of Angela Hill, and it's mainly by Angela Hill, eventually fighting for the strap. Now, I don't know about anybody else. I don't know how anybody else feels about this, about the idea of Angela Hill not only winning the title, but fighting for the title. Fighting for the title. Do y'all know that she said that she's just getting started in the UFC? Are y'all aware that she said that? That she actually made that statement, which tells you she has no plans on retiring. None at all. I don't know about y'all, but in my opinion, if Angela Hill won the title, I personally would not cover that entire division until she lost it. And it's not just her. There are certain fighters who, if they ever win a strap, I'm done. I am done. Look at the champion of that division right now. If the likes of Angela Hill takes the belt from Weili Zhang, that'll tell me the true state of WMMA, at least in the UFC. And it won't be good. Now, I watched last night's fight again from Angela Hill. I rewatched her performance. It was the same raggedy grandma punches, grandma kicks, where she flicking kicks up, almost using her leg like a fly swatter. These are not professional looking strikes. And it's nothing personal. I'm just saying Angela Hill's skill set not good enough to represent the highest of the ladder. I do not want Angela Hill's skill set to represent 115. That's the easiest way I can put it. I just don't understand some of these people. Some of them are journalists. Well, basically just journalists and content creators. Talking about Angela Hill as if they would be satisfied or happy or entertained, that would be a step backwards for WMMA. Are you kidding? Look at the fighters that have ran through Angela Hill. Yeah, Angela Hill might be able to give some newcomers a hard time. She operating fully on experience. Please don't start with this magical cartoon BS because of her fight last night. She's been fighting for 40 years in the UFC. This is Ketlin Souza's first year. Of course. Ain't nothing. And it was a split decision. Nothing impressive about that. People acting like, oh, the return of Angela Hill. She's going to win the title. Y'all might want to rewatch that fight. The same amateurish, close my eyes when punches are thrown at me. She did it in this fight too. Ketlin throw punches. Angela Hill duck her head down, close her eyes, and try to deflect them with open palms. I don't want to see that amateurish nonsense holding the gold. Are you out of your mind? So they asked Angela Hill last night. Some reporter asked her if she had any fighters, like did she have her eye on any of the fighters as a next opponent? And she laughed and she said, yeah, I got a long list. There are a lot of people on this list too. And she named a few fighters, more fighters than I expected. But she did not name Mackenzie Dern. I wonder why. I wonder why. If we all just getting started, Angela, your words, not mine. Go listen to the post-fight presser. I'm just getting started. She feel like, okay, if this is your rebirth, how about some get back for this epic, historic beating that you took from Mackenzie Dern? This is what y'all want to see? Y'all would be satisfied or happy seeing Angela Hill with the belt? Are you crazy? I can't be persuaded, not even by no pro-black energy, pro-black American energy. Nah, I ain't feeling that either. I don't care what you are. If you look flicked and goofy and amateurish, and go look at her punches, man. These are the same non-punch punches thrown. She throw her punches like she got broomsticks for arms. Her kicks, like I said, look like she got fly swatters for legs. She a flick in her kicks. They look strange. It's almost like she aiming for her opponent's crotch. She throw a kick and flicking. It's all sloppy and lazy. A bunch of stuff that she does is lazy. And then that grandma, she'll never have her hands up. You see where her hands are right now? This is where her hands are like all the time. Dangling down right here. This is why she was getting outstruck by Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern was serving Angela Hill on the feet. So if Angela Hill get the belt, the likes of Mackenzie Dern could come through and snatch that belt right up off her. Didn't Tisha Torres defeat Angela Hill already? She could come take the strap. How many fighters have already beat Angela Hill? And you want the likes of Angela Hill with the belt? I'll probably close this channel down. Y'all talking crazy now. I talk skills. I talk evolution. I don't know what y'all talking about. This is a 40-year-old who looked like an 80-year-old when she fight. grandma heaping, struggling kicks. She all stiff. Really ain't got no movement, no head movement. The only thing she want to do is put you in a tight clinch and hold you against the fence. Have we forgot how boring she gets at times? Oh, my tie clench. Oh, I keep you pressed against the fence. All you have to do is refuse to be bullied by Angela Hill and she loses the fight. That was Ketlin Souza's problem. She allowed Hill to be the boss in the majority of that fight. Every time Ketlin Souza refused to let Hill lead the dance, she was winning those moments of the fight. The blueprint on Hill is real simple. It's been out forever. You just show how pathetic these trainers and coaches are. Hill really does not deal with solid resistance well. And if you got a ground game, if you are a threat like Mackenzie Dern was on the ground, man, please. There are certain fighters that I don't want to see with the strap. If Jillian Robertson, and let me tell you something else, I would have been somewhat disappointed if Tatiana Suarez won the belt. I said that before the fight. I said I don't want to see no one-dimensional champion. I don't. Look at the two champions we got now. Are they one-dimensional? Shevchenko and Weili Zhang? I'm not trying to go backwards. I'm really not trying to see either one of them replaced by a one-dimensional fighter. Especially not the likes of Angela Hill. Hill is not even one-dimensional. Hill is more like everything she does is average. Everything she does is like sea level. Everything is sea level. So if her opponent is B level at anything, there's a good chance she'll lose. If Jessica Andrade won the belt, that would be disappointing. As flawed as Andrade is, that would be disappointing. I'm telling you now, Verna only recently became acceptable in my eyes because, in my opinion, she does not look that bad in the striking department nowadays. She's looking better and better as a striker. And if you notice, Weili has become less of a striker. She sort of dialed back her striking pedigree as she, built up her ground game. She's definitely not one-dimensional. Weili is still a spectacular striker. So no, I wouldn't be happy with. And currently, Angela Hill's ranked number 13. So to win the strap, she'll have to run through the division. If the likes of Angela Hill can do that, that tell you where the division is. And that tell you that's a bad look for WMMA. For these old 40-plus-year-old fighters to start it in the Carla Esparza tough house, I ain't rooting for none of them. Because if they win the belt, they ain't going to be around much longer. And most of them one-dimensional is all get up. Especially the fighters like Hills never even fought for the belt yet. No, thank you. No, thank you. I want to see well-rounded fighters. And notice how some nights Hill just don't even show up, really. So on some nights, she just get ran through, dusted off. She just lost to Tabitha Ricci. So Angela Hill get the strap now. The likes of Tabitha Ricci can come take it. The division will officially be a joke. Overall, the women are behind skill-wise. We need solid champions to keep everybody on their toes and to keep the bar raised high. Joanna was somewhat one-dimensional. She was only somewhat. She was not an offensive threat on the ground, but she was a top-notch defensive fighter on the ground. Big difference. You can't say that about Marina Rodriguez and other true one-dimensional fighters. Just to get Joanna down was a serious challenge. So no, we'll be going backwards. We'll be going backwards. Getting a split decision over Ketlin Souza. You losing to the likes of Tabitha Ricci. You getting pummeled, dusted off, beaten by Mackenzie Dern for 5 rounds. Okay? You looking like this. Before the fight starts, in between rounds, you coming out the corner with one big eye. One big eye that's, you bucking one eye. You come out the corner with one eye bucking. I mean, how can you not name Mackenzie Dern as a fighter who you'd like to fight? And if y'all go back and listen to how the reporter asked the question. He said, is there anybody you want to get back in there with? He said, anybody out there, any other fighter who you want to get back in there with? He framed it trying to guide Hill into requesting a rematch with Mackenzie Dern. That's what that was. Because Dern is currently number 6. That would have been the perfect opponent for her to call out. And Angela Hill conveniently tap danced around Mackenzie Dern's name. It seemed like she named everybody except for Mackenzie. So listen to that. Angela Hill is trying to cherry pick. You want a cherry picking champion? Unacceptable. Angela Hill as the champion is a completely unacceptable.
Let me get you a call.
Now I'm about to see if I can pull up the audio here. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to pull up the audio and where she said it. Her and her lip.
Thanks.
I mean, but what is that?
The arena and
As well, you know, you're able to still do this sort of thing. What would you tell fighters that are still getting into it right now?
No.
for women is
that's not the
especially
question.
And
Happy. I mean, granted, you just got off a win, but
Here we go.
Do you feel like maybe that there's still a lot?
Listen to this. Listen to this now. And she all acting all giddy and goofy because I think she felt pressured at that moment. Like when he started to ask this question, she started to get all giddy and goofy because she could tell what this guy was getting at. Listen.
together and train and just swap ideas and yeah, it's really worked out for me the last few years.
You sound so reinvigorated. You sound happy. I mean, granted, you just got off a win, but do you feel like maybe that there's still a lot more legs left in this sport? Are you still feel like you
No. That's the question. That's not the question. I gotta find this
I
question.
still got like 10 more years left. That's all.
Th-
I go.
She said she got 10 more years left, people. Now listen, man. I hope she's playing. I hope she's joking. Y'all really trying to see Angela Hill for the next 10 years?
I
you hear
think
that?
I was right next to them, and
Huh?
to hear that? Is that a point of pride, or is it?
he should have taken me out to pasture and shoot me 5 years ago. Yeah, I'm excited.
Fighters that are still getting into it right now, because I think a lot of them will look at you for your longevity. What would you say is the biggest key that you could?
God, where is that question, man?
Yes.
You sound so reinvigorated.
Every time, every day.
Come on.
Yeah, I went. I was training 2 judges,
Weird that unfortunately, isn't it, or is that?
watching like this play that's happening, that I'm not putting
No, we're gonna find
theirs, but
We ain't going nowhere until I find it.
especially keep going forward. I think she's booked to fight someone, but
Right
winner
here.
of that. But I got the sub.
Here we go.
And
Here
got
we go.
ranked ahead.
Are there names that make sense?
Listen
for
to
you?
this.
Are they
For a little bit, but it's nice to get back in the gym.
can do to?
Listen to how he frames the question. Listen to how he frames it.
Speaking of opponent, are there any names down the line that you want to get back in there with, or
Get back in there with. No. No, I want y'all to look at this. Watch how her face changes when he says that. Watch the expression on her face change.
Can do to?
speaking of opponent, are there any names down the line that you want to get back in there with, or who's
Oh boy. Now, listen to what she says. I want you to listen to what she says. Okay, she don't want no more smoke with Mackenzie Dern.
I know you want to enjoy this victory for a little bit, but it's nice to get back in the gym thinking of a certain opponent across the cage. Are there names that make sense for you?
Are there names? There's a ton. I was pretty frustrated that Jillian Robertson got ranked ahead of me after her last 2 fights. I think she lost to Ricci and then won against Luana, which was like.
Okay, so she calling out Jillian Robertson. Where's Jillian Robertson? She's just ranked right above you. Hill, how are you so sure that you won't be moved up above Jillian after this fight? Didn't you hear what Hill just said? That she was disappointed Jillian got ranked above her. So Hill understands, she's aware of where Jillian is currently ranked. Well, Angela, there's a chance you get bumped above her. You still want to fight her? You still want to fight her, huh? Okay, what was the other one? Let's move on to the other one. Listen.
My same last 2 fights, but I got the sub. The striker got the sub. So I'm like, what's that about? So she got ranked ahead of me. So I'd love to fight her. I think she's booked to fight someone, but winner of that fight, winner of.
She already booked for a fight, Angela. She says she willing to wait. You willing to wait to fight somebody who's going to be likely ranked beneath you. Okay.
Lemos versus Lucindo.
Lemos versus Lucindo? Nah, see, you getting carried away now. And this is what I'm talking about. She's fairly high right now. Lemos against Lucindo. Is that even realistic? I wouldn't want that anyway. Nah. Imagine if Lucindo won that fight. Just imagine Lucindo stops Lemos. Would y'all be happy to hear Lucindo versus Hill? No, Angela, that's not even realistic. That's not realistic. No matter who wins, if it's Lemos or Luciendo, you as the next opponent does not make sense. Let's move on to the next one.
Zhao Nan, if she's not too busy.
Yan Zhao Nan. Listen to, she's naming the number one contenders. She dancing around. She literally danced around Mackenzie Dern. She named the fighter ranked directly beneath Dern and above. And then had the nerve to call out the number one ranked. Okay, who else?
I'd fight her. I'd fight anyone, you know, but obviously I want to climb and I want the fights to be value fights and I want to get to the top.
Value fights.
Rivas is another one who I think I could.
She called out Amanda Ribas, who's ranked at number 8. Okay, so we'll see who they match her up against. I think the UFC, they like Angela Hill. I personally believe she told them, I'll take any fight you give me. And I'll fight any time. You want me to fight a week away or whatever. I'll fill any card you want. I believe Angela Hill told the UFC that. And that's basically the little deal they got together. The Hill is the fighter who don't turn it down. But let me tell you something. I suspect she also just don't want no more smoke with Mackenzie Dern. She does not want to get that beating back, that loss back. I don't want no champion like that. A champion would have said Dern and would have left it at that. Is there any fighters you want to get back in it? Mackenzie Dern. Thanks for asking in that fashion, sir. But aside from that, I'm not feeling that old woman scarecrow 80-year-old style, people.
Beat up and I didn't get a chance to fight her because she got COVID.
I know people like Angela Hill. I get it and all that. I get it. But I don't want her boxing holding the belt. I don't want her Muay Thai holding the belt. Don't want her clinch game or ground game holding the belt. Come on, man. It's subpar. It's afflicted. It's not on the status, on the level of either past 4 champions, 5 champions. Hill's skill set is not on the level of Rose Namajunas. It's not on the level of Joanna Jędrzejczyk. It's not on the level of Weili Zhang. She'll literally, quite literally, be the worst quality champion of that division's history. I don't want no fighter like that as the champion. And again, it's not just Hill. It's not nothing personal against Hill. Several fighters I don't want to see holding the belt. Hill is just the one being discussed right now, so I'm throwing my 2 cents in there. Marina Rodriguez, another one. The only way I'd be satisfied seeing Rodriguez, the likes of Rodriguez holding the belt, is if she genuinely improved her ground game. I don't want to see subpar takedown defense like that. Holding the belt. Come on, man. We dealing with right now the Angela Hill, I don't know what this is. Just like a midlife crisis we having with her. And you notice she didn't name Tabitha Ricci either. So there are some styles that Angela Hill just can't really deal with. And like I said, I believe it's the fighters with just enough confidence. Angela has this way of fighting. And if you deny her that style, you know, the effectiveness of it, she really don't have no plan B. She really just ends up losing those fights. And here's that beating. Here's that beating. Easily. And this was a main event. Speaking of main event, Ketlin Souza, you were on the main card. You were on the main card with that performance. And I still believe Souza won those last 2 rounds. I believe Hill only won the first round of that fight. But that was still a poor performance by Ketlin Souza. You can't be performing like that on the main card. That was her first fight on the main card, if I'm not mistaken. But this is that epic beating. Hill, you don't want no get back? I think Dern got her shook, man. You scared. Angela Hill, you scared. I think you scared. You scared and don't want no more smoke with Mackenzie Dern. I think Angela Hill, I don't know. She be getting, I don't know, man. It's like you can see it in her eyes sometimes when she's outmatched. Well, this is an example. It's like she was at a point in the fight where she realized, I can't really strike with Mackenzie Dern because I have to always look out for a takedown. And I can't really strike if I'm defending takedowns too. And she really can't. And she had 5 rounds and there was nothing she could do. There was nothing she could do to get back in that fight. So if the likes of Hill get the belt, the division itself is going to regress. A division is only as strong as its champion. You definitely want the best fighter as the champion. I want people to understand that. If you don't have the best fighter, with the fighter with the best skills holding the belt, that reveals a bad flaw in the division itself. That means the fighters with the best skill set, they lack in some other department severely, where they can't defeat fighters who are not as skilled. Fight record tattooed all to smithereens. Claudia probably come out of retirement if Angela Hill win that belt. Michelle Watterson probably come back out of retirement. Angela Hill win that belt. Come on, man. Got smashed by Tisha. No. It's uphill from here. Future fighters, champions, let me correct that. Future champions gotta be on that level. I'll be okay with Manon taking the belt from Shevchenko. I can accept that. Manon, strong on the feet, strong on the ground, strong in the clinch. And I mean strong. Can't compare her to Angela Hill. Alexa Grasso, I'm okay with her holding that belt. She's strong on the feet, strong on the ground, strong in that clinch. See what I'm saying? I don't want no lackluster, no one-dimensional, no grandma shaking, flickering, kick flicking, goofy punching fighters up in there. I just don't want it. With minimal skill set and really sort of part-time fighters, part-time podcaster. No, thank you. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents on that subject.